Tiki here on the Fan. Evan and Sean wrapping up their vacation. So you got Tommy Lugauer, you got Tiki Barber here, and I tried to tell you it was fool's gold. I tried to tell you the Yankee winning streak was fool's gold, and nobody wanted to listen to me. They wanted to shoot the messenger. They wanted to get mad at Positive Tommy. They wanted to say nasty things about me. Oh, you're just a Met fan. Why are you raining on our parade? And then last night, Teak, in the Bronx, I was proven correct, because the Yankees once again stepped up in competition and absolutely soiled themselves.
It's one game of 4.
But it's
chill out.
It's what they always do.
This is true.
4 errors, 3 in 1 inning. They looked like watching Yankee baseball last night reminded me of a bunch of like drunk dudes outside a bar, let's just say Broadway in Nashville, trying to pick up girls that are stumbling out of the bar. I mean, it was sloppy. It was just disgusting. It was just it was just not pretty to watch. And it was typical Yankee baseball that we have seen under the guidance of Aaron Boone and, of course, led by King Aaron Judge. It was not winning baseball, and it was the typical nonsense that this team has put forth. The Yankees are 4-13 against the Red Sox and Blue Jays this season.
Yeah, I wish there was an answer for this. I wish there was a reason behind this. I wish there was they just feel the pressure of playing in division, and therefore they get out of whack. But at some point, maybe you have to concede they're just not good at doing these things. Like, they're good baseball players, right? They deserve to be in Major League Baseball. But how can you collectively, not just one guy, not just Ben Rice, not just Paul Goldschmidt, not just Jazz Chisholm trying to throw it to the second row, how can all of these guys collectively make easy, stupid mental errors so often? And if it's not that they're not bad baseball players. So it can't be that. So what is it? Like, this is the problem. There's no answer to it. Because if it was one guy all over and over and over again, you'd be like, all right, sit down, go to the minors like Francisco Alvarez did with the Mets, figure yourself out, and come back. But it's everybody. Like, how does that happen? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because it's a culture. It's a country club. It's led by Aaron Boone. The Yankees lack focus. They lack accountability. They lack intensity.
But they were in the World Series a year ago. How could you say that? A team that was in the World Series lacks accountability and focus? That doesn't make any sense.
But think about that, the elimination game where you have the King dropping a pop-up, you have Garrett Cole not covering first base. In the biggest game they played all season long, they had a lead, they had an opportunity to push that series to Los Angeles and strike a little bit of fear in the heart of the Dodgers, and they threw up all over themselves because they don't have fundamentals, they don't have focus, they don't have accountability, they are a country club, and it's just this laissez-faire sort of, whatever, we'll get them next time. And that's why teams like the Red Sox and the Astros and the Tigers and the Blue Jays, whether it's at Yankee Stadium or on the road, completely embarrass the Yankees. Actually, better yet, the Yankees embarrass themselves.
That's exactly right.
They embarrass themselves constantly.
It's almost hard to give the other team credit sometimes. Because you want to, and you should, obviously, because they come through when they need to. You mash an upper decker off of De Los Santos, and so it just kind of it punctuates what you've already done. But so much of it is self-inflicted. So much of it is baseball 101. So much of it is what you did when you were a kid. And you maybe you got yelled at when you were 8 years old or 10 years old, but should you have to get yelled at to not make the same stupid mistakes over and over and over and over?
I'll speak for yourself, but yes.
Yeah, I'm talking about from a baseball player standpoint. I mean,
stick to football, Barber.
We all do this personally. We know that. I'm talking about these are Major League Baseball players. A lot of them making a lot of money. A lot of them have been really good over the years. How does this happen? And how do you fix it? Because really, we can talk and scream and yell about how bad they've been and the errors over and over and over again, but how do you fix it? That's the only thing that matters.
You fix it well. You need to really fix it from the top to the bottom, because it has just become, in this era of Aaron's baseball, the Yankees are, and I said it earlier this week, and I called it fool's gold, and I stand by it, and I was proven correct last night. The Yankees are a bully team. They are built to bully bad teams like the Twins, like the Rays, like the Cardinals, like everybody not named the Tigers in the AL Central. Exactly.
Guardians.
And they hit all these home runs in their home away from home in Tampa, and they puff their chests, and they pad their stats, and they high-five, and they set all these records, and the Yankees have turned a corner, and they're back, and their first game in front of a packed house, and everybody's got their Costanza bobblehead, they go right back to what they are, which is an undisciplined, bad fundamental, bad culture, no accountability joke, laughing stock. 3 errors in 1 inning, 4 errors in the game. I think it was like the third or fourth time this year they've committed 4 errors, which is the most in Major League Baseball. And it's always Teak when the lights are the brightest. They can't bully the Red Sox. They can't bully the Astros. And when they can't bully a team, they can't win, and they don't know what to do with themselves.
Right.
It's over and over and over again.
So what do you do? If you're the Yankees brass, what do you do?
Right now?
Yeah, what do you do?
To save this season?
Do you fire? You can't fire Boone.
They're never firing Aaron
So you're
Boone.
not firing Aaron Boone. You're not firing Brian Cashman. You can't fire the players. You can't bring up all the young kids and say, all right, if these vets can't do it consistently, okay, young guys, you do it consistently. Like, you can't. There's nothing to do other than bitch and moan and scream and yell. And I mean, I guess it feels fun coming out, but ultimately it doesn't help. It doesn't charge it. It doesn't change anything. So what do you do?
The biggest problem, as far as, like, to your question, Teak, is the Yankees are in baseball purgatory.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is they will never, because of their payroll and the talent they have and just, the magic of the Yankees, they are never going to be bad enough to force the hand of the owner to make any changes.
To reimagine it, to start it over, to sell off and get young players and bring in different free. You can't do it.
Right. To the point where, so when I was growing up, believe it or not, Yankee Stadium was not packed with people. It was not the phenomenon and the global billion-dollar business that we see today. It was bare bone. It will never be that again. There will always be people there. They will always win games. They will always get to October, and they will always fall short because of their culture, because of their country club mentality that starts from the tippy top all the way to the bottom. Because you said it, Teak, players that just come here in their first year, they're fumbling the ball over themselves. They're soiling themselves. They can't get it done in the big spot. It's leadership. It's the environment. And nothing will change because they will always be good enough to get to October, sell the place out, and Yankee, because I get it. You want to go to a Yankee game, you're going to see home runs.
Right,
you're going to see winning. Yeah.
The business is never going to suffer.
It's good. It's entertainment,
Right.
and the Yankees put on a very entertaining product majority of the time. But in the big spots and the stuff that matters the most and matters most to a Yankee fan, which is championships, this team and the way they are as far as their culture is never going to win. And that's why their winning streak, I said it earlier in the week, and I'll continue to say it, was fool's gold and typical bully Yankee baseball.
Much like the Knicks, your team, Tommy, it's always going to be sold out or close to it because people want to go. It's the Garden. You're in the city. You know what? I can go. Let's go to a basketball game. It might cost me a pretty penny, but how many times I'm going to be in New York City and get a chance to go see the Knicks play at the Garden? Regardless of who they're playing, it doesn't matter.
It's a tourist attraction.
The Yankees are the same way. Hey, we're in New York. Let's just go up to the Bronx. Oh, you can take the subway? It's easy to get up there. We'll take an Uber. It's cake. So whatever the tickets cost, let's go. You're sold out. Those guys, though, those fans, they go, they see, maybe they care a little bit. They probably don't. It's the ones that are actual fans that are left with the shrapnel of the negativity that the Yankees create on a nightly basis, it seems like, playing fundamentally bad baseball. So as a business, the Knicks, the Yankees, they're going to be fine. Maybe forever. They're going to be fine. The value of the franchise is going to keep growing. People are going to always, because it's the Yankees in the Bronx and New York. But success doesn't happen because the business is good.
This you drew the parallel in for my Knicks, which I didn't appreciate, but you are right in many ways. I will draw the parallel to the Cowboys. The Cowboys have created this global billion-dollar brand that will never change, but they don't win anymore.
Right.
Now they'll win games, but you know what I mean. When it gets to January, they don't win.
It's funny you say it because it's the exact same thing. The exact same thing.
Fans everywhere. Right. You could go anywhere in the world, Teak. You will see a Yankee hat and a cowboy hat. Everywhere in the world. You want to throw in the Lakers there too? But winning
Sometimes the Raiders. Just because it's badass.
No doubt.
It's all
cool
bad,
colors
all
too.
the bad boys.
Yeah.
We're the silver and gray.
But as far as what is important and what does matter the most, and I love your analogy too, because for the fan that goes a couple times a year, or the tourists from Russia that go to Yankee Stadium to see a Yankee game, they get to see the King Aaron Judge, and maybe it's a game against the Twins where they hit 25 home runs and you're happy.
Right.
And they kind of come into, it's like you're hosting a party and everybody comes to your house, and let's say you live in the Hamptons and you have this great mansion or whatever like that, the Barber Summer House. You go down to Snooki's house down the shore, and Tiki invites me, and I invite all my bros, and we're partying there, and we tear up the house, and we have this great time, and it sounds like a Katy Perry song, and there's a hickey on my neck, and there's some DJs pass out in the pool, and nobody knows what's going on last Friday night, and we all have this great time. Well, the Snookies, they're left with cleaning everything up, right? They're left with the mess. The Yankee fan, the real diehard true Yankee fan, is left with the mess of what has happened with the Yankees now, which is we win 90 games, we bully teams around, but when it matters the most, we can't get it done. And not only can we not get it done, we look like, and I hate even saying Little League. This is not Little League. This looks like a bunch of people that don't know how to play baseball. There's no fundamentals. There's no accountability. It's a country club. Players do whatever they want. They say whatever they want after the game. There's no leadership. If there is leadership, you don't see it, and it certainly doesn't, translate on the field that there's any kind of leadership. And it's the same story every year.
Yeah. Now the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. Their schedule is ridiculously easy down the stretch for how good of a team that they are. Obviously, they have to finish out this Red Sox series, and then they get, the White Sox?
It's Nationals, White Sox.
And then the
no
White
days
Sox.
off. They go right into those series.
Who cares? They play the Nationals and the White Sox.
And you know what's going to happen in those series. Spoiler alert.
They're going to sweep them.
Absolutely embarrass those
and
teams.
we're going to feel like, all right, they're back.
Yep.
Everything is all good. And the Yankees are going to make the postseason, but fundamentally nothing has changed. And when I think about, why do you make little stupid mistakes like the Yankees make? Ben Rice, I mean, maybe he's excusable in the second inning because his mask got turned sideways and he was off balance and kind of sitting on the knee, and he tries to, throw this beautiful shot down to second base and sails it into the outfield. But why is Jazz Chisholm on an easy throw? I mean, he almost threw it into the first row. So when I see that those things happen over and over, it makes me feel like there isn't enough, what Dave would say, time on task. There's not enough doing it 10,000 hours, the 10,000 hour thing. Do it so many times that you don't even think about it. It's pitch, catch, pitch, catch, pitch, catch. The simple stuff, the stuff that you've been doing since you were 8 years old. The Yankees are screwing up, and I don't understand why.
We have a very good defensive club.
No, you don't, Aaron Boone. You don't have a good defensive club.
Stick to football, Barber.
Because everybody makes mistakes. Goldie should stick to football. Get the ball out of your glove. I mean, we loved you because you're Goldie, right? You smash lefties. You're a really good defensive first baseman, except for when you need to win a big game.
Yep.
So is that via osmosis? He's not a Yankee, but he's been here for 8 months. Why is it infecting him?
Focus. That's the only thing I can, other than the other stuff I laid out, is focus. I think the Yankee players care, but I believe they lack focus when it comes to these big games. And they get bailed out.
But why?
Because of the country club that is run by the manager. Now, maybe he is differently behind the scenes, but in front of the camera, there is never, ever anything bad said about any of these players. Jazz Chisholm, when he had that base running blunder in Miami, which was bad, and then the response after the game, which was worse, did he get benched? No. He's in the lineup the next day. Teak, you have kids, and I was a kid. I don't have kids, but if I got in trouble by my parents, and they're like, well, next time you do it, you'll be grounded. And then I did it again. They said, well, but next time, and I never got grounded, I'm going to keep doing it. Because I'm like, you have to set ground rules if you're a parent, if you're a manager, because if you don't, then everybody's just going to do whatever the heck they want because they know that daddy or mommy is not going to do anything about it.
These are grown athletes, and a lot of them are veteran athletes. Is corporal punishment going to change them? Is corporal punishment going to make them more attuned?
I mean, it worked with Glaber at the end of last year. It seemed to wake him up.
But you can't sit everybody.
Not everybody, Teak, but at some, because obviously you're never going to sit not that the King Aaron Judge would do anything like this. You're not going to sit every single player. But there have been moments and instances this year. Now, to be fair, I think we are so far down the pike here with Aaron Boone that it's too late to turn around as far as that type of stuff. But you could have benched Volpe, which we talked about this week for Caballero. You could have sent Volpe down earlier in the year. You could have benched Jazz after that incident in Miami. None of that happened. Nothing. Literally nothing, except for it's all right in front of us. We have a good defensive team. There is no accountability and there are no punishments. So I'm not saying that you rule with an iron fist, but there are moments to send a message to your audience and to your team, and Boone never does it.
I think the way you do it is that you just give them an off day. Seriously.
Oh, one of those like they need a rest day kind of thing.
Hey, man, you sucked in the field last night. We're going to give you an off day tomorrow. And that's all it is. Hey, Aaron, why does Jazz Chisholm have an off day today? Yeah, I know. I just felt like he needed a rest. That's all you got to say.
I like
just
that.
do it like that.
Yeah.
There's no, is this because of what happened yesterday? No. We just felt like you needed a rest.
Right, because
you make it routine. And behind the scenes, you know that it's because he's screwing up in the field. But publicly, just say, he just needed a rest day. That's how you do it. That's how you make it a punitive measure for lack of performance without crushing the guy. That's how you go about doing it if you're Aaron Boone.
Right, because Aaron Boone, who by title is the manager of the Yankees, but he's really the press secretary for the team. That's his role. And anybody that says, well, why does Aaron Boone have this job? Because he's the press secretary. He reads off a prompter after the games, and he tells you everything that's going on that's not really going on, and everything's going to be great. Because you know why, though? And why he gets away with it? Because ultimately, he knows, and we all know, that come October, there's going to be postseason games at Yankee Stadium.
Right, they're going to be in the playoffs, because they always are.
Outside of a catastrophic injury or injuries, they are going to be there. 888-808-1019. Now, Tiki, there are going to be 3 doors here from Yankee fans today. I just want to prepare you for this. The first one is going to be, you guys are 100% right. I agree with Tommy. The second one is going to be, I hate Tommy, but I agree with him. And then the third one is going to be, Tommy has no business talking about my baseball team. Why doesn't he talk about his baseball team? I'm just preparing you for all 3 of those. Okay. Is there a particular one you're looking forward to the most?
I like the latter one.
You like the last one,
the
right?
last one.
Yeah. So you want to go with that one first?
All
right. Let's go.
You know I always choose violence.
You like right out of the gate. I wasn't sure because sometimes I like that about Tiki though, because I sometimes go, should I ease into that? Should I, take a call where it's like, Tommy, you're 100% right. Tiki, you should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't even miss Evan. You know what I mean?
Oh,
or do we go?
My ass.
Or do we go right into the Tommy? Shut the hell up. You want to go right into the Tommy?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's go with Salam and Alapin on the fan. What's up, Sal?
Yeah,
you don't even know what to say.
Sal,
I can't even come out with it all. But you're a Mets fan. Yeah. You're the same as Evan. You're the same as every Mets fan on the station. We love our country club. I'm a Yankees fan. We love it. We don't mind the 27 World Championships.
Sal.
History doesn't matter.
What are you? Let's go Mets.
First of all, you gotta get off. You gotta get off. Give him a second here, Sal. Can you get off speaker so that it doesn't sound like horrible on the radio? So get off speaker. I'm sure you can hear my voice right now. We will talk for a little bit.
We'll come back to you.
The problem with Sal here, Teak, not Licata, by the way, Salomon Alapin, is that
Sal?
Maybe it is.
Change his voice a little bit?
Yeah, he changed his voice. So that's why he was on speaker. He wanted to mask his voice. And I faced this online, and I faced this. We've heard it this week. My thing with this is that if I say something, or anyone says something about your team, and your immediate response is, what about your team? That, to me, is you are acknowledging that I am right. Everything I'm saying is right. You don't want to acknowledge it because of my fandom, and you want to throw back in my face my team.
Right. Don't worry. We'll get to your team.
We are getting to my team. We are not skipping the podium on the Mets. We will absolutely be discussing them throughout the show today. So that, to me, is a 100% a defense mechanism. What about your team? Well, what about your team? So, Sal, I hope you're listening and you're back on not speaker. Let's see if you're ready here. Let's go.
What up, Sal?
Yeah, I'm
there
back.
It is.
I mean, look. Let's go Mets. Let's go. You're Woody Allen, dude. You're clapping. You're uncoordinated. You want to mock the Yankees because the Yankees have 27 World Championships. No. The Yankees will be in the playoffs every single year.
That's fine. Sal, by the way, Sal, I'll let you finish. If you want to visit museums to talk about all the years the Yankees were actually great and whip out your resume and just make October every year and never win a World Series, then have at it. If that's then you really are a Cowboy fan or a Yankee fan. If that's your standard, then God bless. But you know what, though? Dude. The Yankee fan I remember wanted to win championships. If you just want to be involved in this now and this is good for you, then have at it. But I think you're not representative of all Yankee fans.
Only one team wins the championship. You got to be there at the end of the year to be in the mix, and we always are.
But, Sal, do you really think that this team is a championship team based on the way that they play against the best teams in baseball?
I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. Unfortunately, they were a third baseman short in the beginning of the season.
Well,
we didn't get the third baseman. Yeah. And we had injuries and all those things. But at the end of the day, look at all the games the Red Sox just lost. All of a sudden, the Yankees lose. They lose one game to the Red Sox.
Well, it's not one game. It's not one game. They're 4-13 against the Red Sox and Blue Jays this season. So it's
not even that they lost, Sal. It's how they lose. That's what's frustrating. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm not gonna say that the errors that the shortstop makes are good and the blunders and the running error and the running mistakes, the mental errors. I'm not going to say any of that. Yes, we have all those problems, but at the end of the day, we have a very, very competitive team that has an opportunity to be in the playoffs and get to the World Series. Is it going to happen this year? I actually don't think so. But, I mean, what more do you want year after year after year than to have a chance?
Sal, but eventually they have to get over that hump. And like I said, it is not a bad life, by the way, to be a Yankee fan. The team wins 1 million games every year. You have an opportunity in October to win a World Series year in and year out. The team hits 1 million home runs. I'm not suggesting that. But if that's what you want, then great. Then that's what they are. But if you want more, which is winning not just a World Series, then the way they play baseball and the way they are currently constructed and their culture and their country club, it's not going to get it done. Here's another one. They're 6-17 against Boston, Toronto, Detroit, and Houston. Guess who you're going to have to beat in October? Those teams. You haven't beat them in the regular season, and it's not, just a little break here, a little break there. No, you can't field, you can't run the bases, and you completely embarrass yourself every time you play those teams. And if you don't believe me, I'll pull up a tweet later from somebody who used to sit in a seat that said the exact same thing I did on Twitter yesterday. And if he was sitting here right now saying it, you'd be like, oh, you're 100% right. Like Javier, do you agree with me or not? Am I right here or not? Javier.
As much as it pains me to say this,
don't let it pain.
I have to go with door number one.
Door number one, you 100% agree with me. How about that?
I agree with you.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because it's a culture that starts from the top, going all the way down. From Hal Steinbrenner to Cashman to Boone. And they suck because Hal Steinbrenner, as much as it is, and I don't want to admit it, he treats it as a business, and he doesn't really worry about championships. He worries about wins. Because wins brings in seats that are full, and it appeases to the board, and that's what helps them out. Because he's always said, I have to answer to people.
I know that, but Javier, the one thing I will say is that I don't think Hal Steinbrenner has anything to do with the Yankees' lack of fundamentals and these errors. I think that's more on the doorstep of Cashman.
I agree.
Than it is Hal. Hal spends money.
No,
Come on.
Well, he does, but I don't think he knows what's going on to that extent. He gets advised.
Right.
He gets advised by Cashman and some other business baseball operations people, but he doesn't know. He's not dialed in like George was and watching every single moment of every single game and realizing why they're not achieving the goals that they set out to do. He cares about the business. He cares about the money that the team is making.
But think about it. That's the problem because he's not dialed in. He's not like his father was, but nobody's going to be like his father.
Bingo. True. Number one. But
maybe Steve Cohen to an extent. And for that, I have to appreciate.
But Javier, the one thing I will say is that I think that.
Thanks, Javier.
And I think a Yankee fan can speak to this better, and this is where I will take a step back here, is that, but I believe Hal Steinbrenner gives Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone everything they need to win a championship. Like the resources are there. I know we had a little 100%. Fun about him wanting a salary cap and stuff like that.
And not wanting to go over the Cohen tax and being aware of the investors and the return on equity and all that other business stuff.
Right.
That's what he cares about.
We miss you, George. Your son's nothing like you, George.
It's okay, C-Mac. Don't worry. You're in Italy, so I'm sure you're still shilling for everybody. But as far as the Dodgers are concerned, because we'll talk about the Dodgers and Mets here. The Dodgers, we know the deal. Ohtani took the money, but he deferred it. That's why they were able to do what they do. And the Mets, yes, the Juan Soto stuff, but they're raising ticket prices. So the Yankees have built this system here, and they paid for Cole. They paid for King Aaron Judge. They're paying for Stanton. They're paying for Fried. Hal provides Cashman and Boone the proper tools and resources to win a championship. Now it is on them and the leaders in this clubhouse to change what they are. And what they are is a team that bullies weaker opponents, and when they face better opponents, they don't know how to win the games. For all the reasons that we have laid out here. And that's why a winning streak against the Rays and the Cardinals and soon to be against the Nationals and White Sox is fool's gold. And we will address this later when we get to the Mets, but for all of you screaming and yelling, well, what about the Mets? I, at least for me, have never once said the Mets are a bully team.
No, they're not a bully team.
So when they lose to the Nationals, it's not like, oh, how could you possibly lose to the
No, they're not a bully team. They're just a broken record. That's what the Mets are, a broken record. It's the same old blank every single time.
888-808-1019 is the number to call. We got another door number 3 here for Tiki. You've ordered a door number 3, Tiki. We're going to give you another one here. Artie's in Brooklyn.
What up, Artie?
I'm door number 3, buddy.
Let's go.
And I'm a Mets fan. But I'm losing to the Nationals, getting spanked with my 2 best starters are right there. I got rookies pitching better than them. And Logan, you get on as a Mets fan.
Right.
And where do you open up? What about the bleeping Yankees, dude? They have as good a chance to go to the World Series as anything in American League. And if I had money to put on, I would put it on the Yankees. And Cole's hurt. If he was on his freaking team, they beat the Dodgers. And you're worried about them? Kill the Mets. They're killing me. All right, I love you guys.
Thank you, Artie. Love you too, bro.
Let me remind Arthur.
Take a chill pill.
Let me remind Arthur.
Go smoke a doob, man.
A doob?
Calm down.
Light a fatty for this pimp daddy. What I would remind Arthur, and I would remind Met fans out there, is that not only were the Mets in the NLCS last year, they are currently in a position to be in October this year.
Aren't you scared as hell, though?
What I would say to this is that, and
yes, you are. The answer is just yes, I am. Don't nuance it.
Not
just
afraid.
say
Yes, not afraid.
I am.
Not afraid. I think that we could have a different conversation. That's a Tiki line. We could have a different conversation in a couple of weeks if the Mets are sitting there and they are several games out of the final wild card spot.
Fair enough.
That's how I look at it. But my point is that the Mets, in my lifetime, I'm 40, I believe, have made the postseason 9 times. 9. They have an opportunity this year to make it. Is that right? Yes. They have an opportunity this year to make it back-to-back years. It is a different type of situation than what the Yankees are doing, where it's every year they're knocking on the door, but they continue to lose the same exact way. They beat the AL Central teams in October. They play anyone else, they lose. The Mets are still in the early stages of this era of baseball, which is Cohen, Stearns, and Mendy. And until they develop a pattern, this is still, to me, a young child where we don't know what they're going to develop into, where the Yankees, it's a little bit of an older child. Even though the Mets are a big brother, we know that. But my analogy here is that the Yankees are more established. We know what their flaws are based on the last 8 years. We don't quite know that yet with the Mets.
Right. No, and for the it's almost like the Mets are, even though they have so much veteran talent, they're new to this, right? They're new to this. We're spending a ton of money, and we're going to compete for a championship every year. That's why they're not in this conversation that Tommy is having. And it's a specific conversation. This isn't about the Yankees in general. This is about the Yankees bullying the bad teams, but not being able to beat the good ones, and not even being able to beat the ones in their division. That's what it comes down to for the Yankees.
And what I would say to Artie, and what I would say to all the Met fans out there, that feels similar to Artie, is that I believe, and I think a lot of Met fans do believe this, they're frustrated right now, and I totally understand that, totally respect that. With Steve Cohen, with his pocketbook, with Stearns, with this administration, and the way baseball is right now, as far as the expanded postseason, I am fully confident that the Mets are going to be in this position, if not better,
Right.
every single year.
Right. They're
So
going to keep trying to be. at least.
exactly. So for someone to be young, think about this. Think about how many bad years we had to sit through as a Met fan. We are now currently off a year where they went to the NLCS. As we sit here right now, if the season, and I know it doesn't end today, but if it ended today, they would be going to the postseason for the second time, back-to-back years.
Right.
Maybe I'm missing something right now. And last year, every time you were ready to give up on them, by the way, this year too, every time it feels like they're ready to like sort of, blow it all up and the season is going all the way down the toilet, they constantly respond. And we will get to the Mets coming up later in the show. We have a full bank here. We will absolutely get back to your Yankee calls. Max Fried on the mound tonight. We'll talk about how big of a start that is in his Yankee career.